excited for this breakfast sandwich. So it is a cold day here. I feel like we kind of had false spring where we were having these really beautiful days and now we're back to, it feels like winter. I think it even got down like into the 30s last night. Should I try and take a bite of this? This feels like a really big sandwich. That's so good. This is just tofu scrambled with like some turmeric and a couple other spices, avocado, some sprouts. If you've been following along, I had a complete sprout failure a few weeks ago. Turns out the seeds were bad and I was able to re-sprout with some new seeds and got an abundant amount of sprouts. I see the comments and people be like, what's the recipe? Drop the recipe. Because I keep making a lot of food in all these videos, and honestly, a lot of times there isn't a recipe, which is why I haven't been putting them in. I just kind of like make things up, or if there is a recipe, I'll use it as like a suggestion. So like I was saying, it is very cold here. It's also windy, and I feel like wind in the desert is like rain anywhere else. If it's windy, I don't want to do anything. The wind here gets really, really strong. So it's windy outside, and I had a bunch of rodents chew electrical wires on my car. And so I also have no car right now. So this is gonna be a very sort of inside at home day for me. By the way, this is the third time that I've had rodents chew wires in my car since I've lived in the desert. If anybody has any suggestions on how to keep them away, please let me know. I keep my hood open at night, and we also just ordered some of those like motion-centered flashing lights, vibrational sound things that are supposed to scare them away. I also saw there was a stray cat prowling around our driveway almost every day this week. And I also saw a red-tailed hawk yesterday circling. So I'm like, maybe nature's gonna take care of it. Anyways, winter's back, and I'm kind of excited about it. I realized like a day or so ago that this weekend is daylight savings, meaning we set the clocks ahead an hour. It'll be darker in the morning for a while, but the sun will stay up, quote unquote, longer. And usually I'm really excited about this time of year, but I am not ready. I really like the winter time to be restful and quiet, and I don't really feel like it was either of those things. I don't feel ready for the energy of spring. I want to hold on to sort of the quiet days of winter just a little bit longer. I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm doing a lot in the next few months. I have a lot of travel coming up, both for like personal travel, but also for work. And I want the slowness and the quiet of winter to stick around just a little bit longer. But seasons change. There's nothing we can do to stop that from happening. But for today, I can definitely have a quiet, slow day. Do you like that I said I wasn't gonna go outside today, and then the first thing I do is go outside? I couldn't be inside. You know what? It's not that cold. It's not that windy. And this is why I live here. You know, it's really hard to live here sometimes. I'm really far from my family. I'm far from things that feel familiar to me. It can be, you know, a difficult landscape, but I have such access to the outdoors. Like even living really rurally where I have no car today, I can't really walk anywhere. We don't really have Uber out here, but I can walk out my door and there's just like acres and acres of land behind us that I can explore. Like this is why I live here, to feel the sun on me in the beginning of March. This is what I'm here for. I can't be inside. What a glorious day to be outside. Okay, before I forget, I think these are gonna be like a cinnamon sugar kind of cookie. And I did 1.5 cups of flour, a half a cup of sugar, a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, 4 ounces about of applesauce, a half a cup of avocado oil, a tablespoon of vanilla, and then I mixed it all together. And I added like probably a tablespoon of water because it was a little bit dry, and then rolled it in cinnamon sugar, put it in the oven at 375 for, I'm trying 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depending on your oven. I have no idea if they're gonna be any good. Like I said, I just started with like kind of a general cookie recipe and then made it what I wanted it to be. I don't know if they're gonna be any good, but that's the recipe. So I was just putting some of the ingredients away from the cookies, and I wanted to show you a project I have going on, which is back here. Be gentle with it. I am growing a kombucha mother. So I've been like waiting and waiting and waiting for someone in my life to have a SCOBY to give to me. For whatever reason, when I first learned how to make kombucha, the person who was teaching me how to make it was like, you always get your kombucha mother given to you. That's like how it works. And so I've been like, since I moved to the desert 5 years ago, wanting someone to gift me a SCOBY, and nobody has one out here. So I'm making my own. I'm breaking the rules of my kombucha mentor. So it seems to be working. I just took some kombucha that I had and put it in this jar, covered it with cheesecloth, put it in this pantry probably like 3 weeks ago. And it's probably gonna take maybe another 2 weeks. It's going kind of fast now that it's started growing, but it does take a lot of time. So hopefully in a video in a couple weeks, you'll see me make my own kombucha.